I guess one of the games that nope, it just left.
Hello, welcome. Come on in. I'm Natalie.
And I'm Ginger.
And we're just talking about how my mom navigates through life with her 3 learning disabilities that we know of. This is my mom's brain and me. So a little bit about us. My name is Natalie, and this is my mom, Ginger. And I just absolutely love having her as my mom, and I'm so excited to get to be able to share her with you. She lives in Idaho. She's married with 6 kids, and she has 3 learning disabilities, auditory processing disorder, ADHD, and dyslexia.
And this is Natalie. She's married with 2 kids and lives in Virginia. And I have enjoyed having her as a daughter, and her skills and strengths and talents even since she was little.
And so what we're trying to reach out and connect with people about is, if you have a learning disability, if maybe you have a parent with a learning disability, maybe you have a child with a learning disability, and the twofer for that would be if you've ever wondered what it would look like when they grow up and how they're going to navigate adult life and raise children and all that. And so all of this to come together, and that it is possible. You can make it through life. As my mom shares her story about how she's been able to navigate through life and enjoy it. And so we've talked about a few things. We've talked about learning and ordering food. And today we wanted to talk about a more family thing, playing board games. That's something that we like to do in our family. So, and it's also kind of the regular, normal thing. People play games together. And so how does your learning disabilities affect playing games? I mean, this is a genuine question. Like, I don't really know. It's something we just grew up doing.
And I'm not even sure how to separate because I feel like my personality shows through so much in this area specifically that I don't know where the line is between, oh, that's just me and that's my personality, or how the game. I guess one of the games that nope, it just left. I had a thought of one of the games that I absolutely know it's affected by. Oh, yes, I do. And I made cards this time because the last 2, and they're fine, but I was all over the place. And then I'm like, okay, it's always going to be all over the place. But I
ADHD, hello.
Here we are. Okay, so I did the 3x5 cards, and I wrote them in red, the games that I either don't like or don't care for, will choose not to play. And then I put green, it depends, that's in the middle, and then blue, I like this color, blue. And so those are the ones that I like, that if anybody's willing to play, then yes. And the green is the biggest section. But, anyway. Okay, so with the ones that...
Is it then that it's the type of games, not necessarily just like games in general, but it becomes like game specific about where things really pop up and you're having struggles with?
I'm not understanding how you're wording it.
There's different genres of games. Like, there's games that deal more with words. There's games that deal more with pictures. There's strategy games. There's speed games. Sorry.
Oh, yes. Okay, so actually it doesn't divide completely like that. For example, code names pictures. I really, really struggle with that one. and again, time, like if something's timed, I would think, I would assume that would be the highest no, but it's not necessarily, because Wacky 6 is one that I really like. And that's a timed one. Blink, I like and I'm okay with. And that's a time, like that's a speed one, I guess is a better way of saying it. A speed one.
Yeah.
And so, so it doesn't divide like that.
Oh, okay. Sorry, continue.
So with code names, the picture, because there's code names with the words, right?
Right.
And, you weren't the one to buy it for me, right? Okay, then it was one of my siblings, and they thought, all things considered, that we would like it in our family, and it's just I don't get it enough. Like I don't understand it enough to even explain why I struggle with it.
Oh, but code names with the words is fine. That
No. That's worse.
Oh.
With the pictures is better, and that's correct. That my sibling who sent it. Sorry. Okay.
Okay. What else on no go? What else? What other games?
I think it has to do with that you're having to keep how much stuff in your brain, and I wonder also chess. Chess is in there too. That I can't remember the rules enough, and I know the. I was gonna say the horsey guy, the knight. I know it's called the knight. Okay, I know it goes 2 and 1.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Like 2 one way and 1 the other. Or it can go 1 first and then 2. Yeah. So I know it does that. And I know there's one that goes only diagonal or the other that goes forward or sideways. But yeah, I can't remember which, the bishop or the rook.
It is the rook. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. And the queen can do all the things, right?
All the things. Well, except for the horsey guy. He's the only one who can move like that.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. But with chess, I can't hold in my brain enough of the pre, because it's a lot about the pre moves. Like you have to know enough about and all the pieces. If you move this one and this one and this one, and then they could move that. Like it's too much to hold in my brain, because my brain keeps trying to. It just deletes all the. My working memory is not working. I need to rely on. Backup memory? That's not the right word.
It's long-term memory. From inside out. It's long-term memory.
Yes.
Send it down to long-term memory.
And it needs to connect with something. So with chess, yes, I remember enough if it's brought up enough times, but there's some point where it's like, no. Okay, and now so you go, because my brain is now like all the different pieces all over the place of where to go and what to bring up and and so I'm too scattered right now.
Listening about so if there's too many rules, if there's too many things that you have to hold and like moving pieces and all the possibilities, and then predict and then plan out and strategize how things are going to go, that's too much. And then what was that first one? Oh, we don't even know. we don't even know. Code names is just bad because there's words. And so then you're having to associate words with other words, and that's just with the word one, not the picture one. And then make the other person guess your association based on those words. So that's too confusing. Well, what?
Actually, you bringing that up. That's actually a big part of it because my brain doesn't work the same as others enough to be able to play that game. And so then that goes into Pictionary, which is in my category of the one that the game that I like and that I can do well at. And the times when I do well is when I'm partnered with someone, if it's a team of two, or in the whole group on the same team that we know each other well enough. So a sibling that, we lived in the same house and did the same activities for how long, or and so if we're playing against, like, you just draw 3 lines and you can guess it. And it's like, wait, what? Because there's other things going along with it. Energy, past drawings, a trail? I don't know if that's the right word to say it. Connecting.
Yeah, there's enough previous connections to build off of. And
yes.
Associations. Yeah.
So
that one's...
if there were...
Oh. No, what?
I was just going to say, like, if the word is bread and somebody draws a picture and you draw a picture of a bowl and I'm able to guess bread, somebody else in a different, I'm not saying that would be the connection, but I'm just trying to use that as an example that, like, what, how do you guess that from that picture? And again, because, inside joke.
Oh, yeah.
Is kind of along the same lines that other people wouldn't get it or understand. Okay, what were you going to say?
No, I remember one time I was playing Pictionary. We invited a family over for dinner, and so they had kind of that 10-ish range of age, and so I was like, oh, Pictionary would be a fun game to play with this other family. And so we split into teams, and I had as a family thing, we like having a big whiteboard, and you just split it down the middle and do the dry erase on either side. That way everybody can see. And so we played that, and it was actually the CEO of the company that my husband worked for at the time. It was his family. We had them over for dinner, and I beat them. I beat the crap out of them. They're just like, wow, you invited us over to play a game that you beat us. I didn't think it was a hard game, but I also explained to them that this is something that like my family plays often and that we're very used to. And I showed them, I was like, my sister and I were on a team once, and I drew a circle with a line across the top of it, and she guessed hat. That was the word. And they were like, mind blown. What? Who are these people?
Okay, some families sit around and they'll all watch football and wear jerseys and make food and plan, and no, Pictionary. That's
And so, well, it's one of those things that I just because I learned to play from you. One of the things I really appreciate that you do, like if this was the paper, and that you would like, that if I was on this side, that you would make sure that your hand was as much out of the way so that I could watch you draw as possible, which is just, you're just very considerate in that way. And I love that, because I notice all the time that I'm not. I'm just like, Well, I'm here, so you better move.
Every second counts.
Gotta win. And so, but also I mean, isn't that like also kind of ironic that like I learned how to play Pictionary from you, if like word picture associations, like having to like bring a word out of your head and like say it to guess?
So I guess for me personally, the bigger struggle is they're both okay, but yeah, when I'm the guesser and when there's a whole bunch of people playing, or when it's a whole bunch of people, when it's just divided between two teams, and so there's like 5 people on each team and there's only 2 teams, that's a bigger struggle because there's all the noise, there's all the yelling, and so I can't hear and and if I'm trying to guess a word. But on the other hand, if people are throwing out words, then I'll just start going into what other words are in that same realm category, because that's what I have to do. When I'm not able to pull out the word that I need or want in the moment, then I have to go around and say, okay, what's a second choice? Because I can't retrieve that word. And so what's my second choice? And then what's my third choice? And so I'm used to doing that my whole life of, I can't think of the word. What other words are available? So I can do that. The other thing is if I'm just reading one word that I can read and that I can know what it is, and then picture association, that is what my brain does. And so my brain automatically goes to a picture. And so then, okay, but then this is a race game, and especially if it's all the teams are trying to all play, I guess, each team is trying to draw the same picture. Yeah. Then I think, okay, but that would take too long to draw, and or they wouldn't guess it, and or who else is on the team, and what are their age, and do they know what that means? And so I'm having to do all those things, but then also knowing the tricks of, if you draw an ear, then that sounds like, and so you don't have to draw the hat, you can draw a cat, which actually you do the opposite. I would do the opposite. I've seen my cats, and people wouldn't be able to guess that.
Well, that makes a lot of sense, that if it's your brain automatically goes to a picture, and then how to draw that, and that it's not that you have to draw that picture perfectly, it's that you have to get the other person to guess it. So lead them along the trail to whatever it is that you're trying to communicate. And that actually sounds like what you try to do every day anyways. You're trying to lead them along the trail to get them to understand what you're saying.
Yes, and what? No, you go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just just for anybody who might not understand auditory processing disorder, that it's been related to like a filing system, like in the brain, that just with normal speech, that if you're just like talking along and you have to remember the word book, and so then as you're talking along, and then your brain has to look into your filing system, and it opens the filing cabinet, and it flips through all the files, and here's where that word book is supposed to be, and it pulls it out. That file is blank. And that's what auditory processing disorder does. It either it doesn't file things back in the correct area where it's supposed to be, or it just like deletes that item for the time being. And so then what your brain is having to do is then go find another word or string of words to then communicate what you're needing to, because your brain has decided to disorganize what you have.
and you saying that, I do multiple filings of the same thing. So for example, if it's book, I would file it under book. I would also file it under what's the color of the book. I would also file it under what's the genre. I would also file it under what did I like about the book. I would also file it under what I didn't like about the book. And I would, so now, to some that would sound and seem like, okay, isn't that making it harder and or more difficult, and you're just causing more problems for yourself? At this, like, this is the only thing that I have found so far that works for me to be able to go back and get any information, because again, my current working memory is so struggle. Like even now, talking to pull this out, like I have how many tabs open, for lack of a better, or you know, the 3x5 cards laid out actually is better, because a tab gets too overwhelming. A 3x5 card, you can only put so much information on a 3x5 card. And so it's limiting, and so it's not so overwhelming. And then if there's so many 3x5 cards where it's like, it's overwhelming, okay, well then that's when I put those 3x5 cards into groupings, clusters, so that then, okay, then again it's manageable. And I keep doing that so that everything's manageable and so that it's not overwhelming.
So your library, your catalog of 3x5 cards has just naturally grown over time?
Yes, and when I keep going back to things, then that has it be, like, I know where to find it. And also, when I have a new experience, even if that new experience is a mess and chaotic and, okay, so I know we're just doing board games, but on Saturday, we got invited to play softball. And it was so many different ages, and so it wasn't being kept, nobody was keeping score except somebody, anyway, but
except for the one teenage boy who cares.
No, it was an adult, and he's like, oh, this is the score. There's no way that was the score, but anyway, he was throwing it out there to see who could get riled up. But anyway, I go to run, and I fell. Oh. And now I was wearing just like the flats, ballet. They're not ballet flats, but just. I was wearing tennis shoes. There was no traction, and it was grass, and so I'm like, oh, I did not calculate for that, and so I slipped and fell. But then again, when it came time again, and so I was just excited that I hit the ball, and I go to run again, and my body was just like, you want us to do what? No. And so it just stopped. How many feet before first base? And so I go down, but then I crawled the rest of the way to take the base. And one of my kids said that the person sitting next to them gasped and was like, oh, is your mom okay? And I was like, and there it is. Because any other time, people just laugh. Because they're like, somebody fell. And that's how you know you're over a certain age, that you...
They're concerned for you.
They're concerned. They're really concerned. And then I realized, I'm like, I think I was the oldest person there. And not just by a couple of years. I think it was... like, and I didn't even think about it in the moment. It wasn't until all those things went together where I was like, Oh, okay. And now that I went through that whole thing, I don't remember the connection.
I don't know. But that was a fun story.
There was absolutely connection.
We were talking about cataloging 3x5 cards and making clusters and building up a library over time.
Yes, and so me going and participating, and how many years ago maybe I would have said, oh, that was horrible, and that I fell in front of 30 people. I don't know how many people were there. But now, having gone through enough experiences to be fully accepting of and being able to see that I'm glad I went. I didn't get hurt at all, and it was overall a great experience. And I have all those extra pieces to plug in and put in the filing cabinet of, I had this experience. I saw a pine cone. Like, I can still picture the pine cone that I saw on the ground next to the tree as we were walking back to the vehicle. And I can still play back those images and the video, if you will. And so those are all a part of it, and they connect with other times I've seen pine cones, and other times that I fell and maybe it didn't work out so well, and other times I had a conversation with somebody, and other times when I was playing sports and a ball was headed in my direction and I didn't get it, or I moved out of the way and people called me out. And you know what? I did it this time again too. I step aside and I'm like, yours. I'm not getting that. Anyway.
Not because I don't want to, but because I know I can't.
You choose, whatever.
Well, games, back to, softball's game, but what's about other games that you like? We were talking about speed games, and that's an interesting genre grouping of games, because as we were talking about last week in ordering food, the biggest struggle and pain point of ordering food is the time. There's a time constraint to order your food. Somebody's waiting for you, or multiple people are behind you. So there's speed games in your I love it category. Why is that different?
Yeah, so I have Wacky 6 and Blink. I don't know if this turns it the other way or not. On the camera.
Oh, no, I can read it.
I don't. Okay.
I can read it normally.
So Blink, card game, and they have images, and I have it over there. I could grab it, but.
So Blink is shapes and colors, and
You want me to grab it?
instead of sure, if you want to. Well, I'll explain it for for the audio listeners. It has shapes and colors and different amounts of those shapes. So you have to either match. You have to match one of those things. You have to match number, or shape, or colors. So we have some moons, we have some triangles, we have balloons, a flower shape.
So this would work because the shapes are the same.
Yeah, the triangles, lightning bolts. So either 4 lightning bolts, 4 moons, green and green.
This would work because they're both 3 and they're both green.
Yeah. So you're just flipping over cards. You have however many in your hand, and then you flip it down. So why do you like this one?
Well, to back up just a little bit, I like games because it's a connecting activity.
Just all games in general.
Right. And so when I have the opportunity to connect with somebody, then I like that. That's a good thing. That's my top. I like to connect. And so that's the main point. Then I like Blink because it's a visual. It has the colors, and because I like to sort. And from my earliest memories, kindergarten, I don't know if I have my own personal memories from before kindergarten, or if it's just you hear a story enough times, and so then you make up. And so checking how the visual images are in my brain for the ones that I absolutely know are my personal memory, then yeah, I don't know that the others pre-kindergarten are mine fully. Sorting. Crayons. I would take my crayons when I would color, and I would sort them. You get the bigger box, and so there's more than just one color, blue and green. And so with those, you can sort them by colors. Okay, here's all the blue and here's all the green. And then you can stress about, okay, is this more blue or is this more green? Anyway. And then if you just have brown all by itself, but then does it go in with orange? And I don't really like that. And so I'll put it over with black and gray and white. And anyway, but then you can also put it in the category of lighter and then more intense. And so true blue and purple and orange are different than yellow, green, and like those are lighter colors. Hue, tone, chroma.
Saturation.
Anyway, right. But then also I would, like, if they were alive and they were friends, and so which ones would match up and be friends together, and like there's all different ways of being able to sort them. Anyway, so sorting's so when there's a game with sorting, I like that. And so that's with both Blink and Wacky 6.
Wacky 6 is more of there's 4 colors, and so you have to quickly put out in stacks with the group of people that you're playing with, in order though, because there's numbers 1 through 13. And so yellow goes on yellow stack and red goes on red, and then you stack by numbers.
Yeah. Then there's games where what?
Does the speed not bother you then? Because it's not like a time limit. You're not setting a timer, but you have to beat the other person.
Right. And so I remember playing with you, and you, like, we divide all the cards in half, right?
Yeah, you each get half the stack, and then however many are out in the middle being played with.
And so I want to say I still had half my cards, and you were done. And you were how old?
I think I was like 10, 11 when we first got the game.
And that was another, because being in my own home and having things set up a certain way, I think I just got used to I learned lots of tips, tricks, hacks, whatever you want to call them, from my family who also had ADHD. And so there's certain things that I just grew up with that, well, that's just what you do. If something's in your hand, you don't set it down on the table. You go put it away. You have to go put it away, and you have to have a home for it, because yes, in the moment that takes how much time, and you're busy and you don't want to get distracted. Yes. But for your future self, it sends everything into chaos and commotion. And so, so anyway, getting in that habit of doing that. And I got totally way off of what was your question?
That, but why do you still like speed games if there's like kind of that time constraint that you have to beat the other person? And so you were playing with me, and I was still a child.
Oh, right. And so I was saying how in my own home, I just got used to where I don't think I noticed it as much. I have and I still can't remember if I've showed it or not.
You haven't.
But a chest, a travel. I will grab it. Okay. So this represents my ADHD, because somebody had been telling me that I was saying the way I was talking about my ADHD, that it was me, and that I needed to separate. And so they were saying, okay, pretend that it's over there, sitting in that chair, over in the chair, or over on the couch. And I looked over, and immediately all the motions came up, because I look over and there's nothing in the chair. And so then it just sent it back into, because I was late diagnosed ADHD. I was in my 40s. And so, so then it just go back to all the previous things that had been said, that you're not trying hard enough, you're making it up, you're just trying to get out of whatever, doing stuff. And so all those past things just flooded in, and I felt the emotions start to coming up that it's just pretend. But then almost immediately after, I thought, okay, I need to have something to attach it with. I learned that when you're trying to learn something, if you're trying to learn 5 things, okay, put each thing with a finger. And so then you can remember it. Or with color. And I can remember the order of a rainbow, because that makes sense. I remember that that blue and yellow, you mix them together and you get a green. And so I can remember the order. And so anyway, so I knew enough to know that. And also, this can be a different size. And so when I'm at home, this is the size. Yeah, I can put this in my pocket and carry it around, and it's not overwhelming. It's not a big deal. What?
It's the size of your ADHD.
Yes. But then also, if I'm out and it's a new place and I'm around a bunch of people that I don't know, or I don't know anybody, and I'm doing a new thing that I'm not familiar with and I don't know, and I'm going to a new place to eat, and just all those new different things, and there's almost no familiar. Okay, well then it's not even this size. It feels like the full from back how many hundreds of years ago, where they were carting that thing on and off a big ship, and in my head I imagine I've got that big huge thing that I'm trying to get on and off the ship, and there's everybody on the ship that's waiting for me, and everybody off the ship that's waiting, like they're waiting to get on and off, and I'm struggling with this enormous chest that I'm trying to get on it, and that, and so being more patient with myself, because not everybody would be angry and annoyed and upset. People would be able to look at that and understand and be like, well, of course, she's trying to do it herself. But then others, they're just going to be annoyed and upset because they're late and somebody's in the way. And so if it wasn't me, it'd be somebody else. And so that helps me so that I don't take it personally. But anyway, so that I also don't, so I can separate it to say there's enough new and different things. And so it's going to be bigger and harder to manage. Whereas when I'm at home. And so when I was playing Blink, we were in, like, we played with family other times, but then we got it and we had it in our own home. And so I was in my own home playing with my own child. I really don't remember anybody else being around in the moment. And so for me to sit back and realize that extreme difference, I still had half my cards and you were completely done. And it just reminded me that it's not gone away. These things that I'm dealing with, they're still there.
But that I like that this distinction that, and I feel like it's only been within the past 3-ish years that you've made this distinction of separating yourself from your ADHD, that you are not your ADHD, and that I like that you have this image and you have these little props. Either it's a little pocket-sized chest, or it's kind of something that you have to hold in one hand, or or it's ginormous. But that it's still something that you're carrying around and that you need to carry, that it's your lot in life, I guess, to carry it around, but that it is not you. And I think that's really important.
Yes. And additionally, to also view it from the perspective of me, because I had other options of what to choose when I was trying to think of, okay, what can I attach it to? And I deliberately put this because you could put little things inside. And so and I've always liked containers, and yeah. And so then it also helps me to view it from the perspective of, because when I start getting frustrated, like, this is easy, I can put it in my pocket and it's not an issue most of the time. When I'm at home, when things are set up the way that helps me manage and cope and all that stuff. And then when it gets bigger, okay, that's a little bit more tricky. Okay, but I could put more stuff in it. Like the potential for me benefiting. And also when it's really big, okay, that's going to take me longer, but to look at it from the perspective of how many things can I benefit from. And so if I'm only looking at it from the perspective of, I have this big bulky thing and I'm in other people's way and it's taking me longer and it just, and this is hard and this is heavy. If I'm only focused on that, then yeah, it's bad, horrible, vicious cycle kind of a thing. But if I'm able to say, okay, this is what it is, you can't ignore it. Additionally, to add, okay, what are the benefits? And to have those mesh together. And that's where the key is, because I think there's been times in the past where people try to make me feel better, make someone feel better by saying, oh, you're doing fine. This is awesome. This is great. Don't worry about it. Like, okay, well, in many cases that feels dismissive, because this is heavier. Like, there's stuff inside. This is heavier. This is bigger than this. And so to try to brush that aside isn't helpful. And so what's said and how it's said can be a big thing. And so with games, I have a whole bunch in the green category that are, it depends who I'm playing with. There's certain games where I'm okay with playing it, but not with certain people, because
Yeah.
the whole point of playing is to have fun. Okay, sorry? The game's sorry? Why? Why would anyone, but especially, why would I ever choose to play the game sorry? It takes forever. And the potential for people to like really dig in when they send you back and
On purpose. Yeah. Oh, well, I just wanted to comment on like what you said, that like that the potential when you have like a really big chest that you're carrying around because you've got new experiences and new people and new places, and that you're like, okay, but I can put more things in my chest, and that you're like, what if I was traveling on a ship? And like, I think like, you know, people that travel, that's why they like going traveling, is because then you have the new experiences and you could bring stuff back and stuff. But that for you, that your travel experience and what you're bringing back is like, is if you go to a new restaurant, or that you're meeting up with like if you were to move and meet up with a new group of people and having to learn the social dynamics and all of that. And so what are the benefits and things that you can bring back from those travels with you to apply and learn from and experience? I don't know. Is that sounding right?
yes. Also, and the way you said it like that checks out and makes a whole lot more sense. Of travel is a very common thing for people to say they really, really like. Oh, I really, really like to travel. No, I travel for the purpose of getting from one place to the other. And depending, again, who I'm with, okay, the process of the travel can be, like, I can think of how many different times where the travel time itself has been a fine, okay, enjoyable enough experience because of who I'm with. But traveling just for the sake of like going to a different place, I've lived in enough different places where everything has their cool things and everything has their downside. And yeah, again, going to a different place to eat, or going to, I don't know, someplace down the street that I haven't been to, or I haven't been in a while, or this weather, or just, there's so many different variables where I don't need to be going crazy different places. And if I do, then I'd want to have somebody with me who could navigate, who could help carry the other end of the chest.
Yeah. Great. Well, so what are some of the other, what's in your green category? Your kind of middle of the road, like.
Okay, I will. But first, I want to say catchphrase.
What?
That
We do that all the time.
I know.
Okay. All right.
So, and I hesitated because I was almost going to put this in the green category, and then again, for me choosing the game, and again, these games, like, there's Ticket to Ride in my red category. I'm okay. Like, the colors, the visuals, absolutely love it, but it stresses me out. And catchphrase, everybody's yelling, like, even more so than Pictionary. At least with Pictionary, you have a visual to do. Like, there's something enough to do with Pictionary. Whereas catchphrase, there's no visual. It's just all yelling, and I can't hear because, okay, and I don't know enough of it where the line is. If it's just me, or if this really is the case, it seems like there's more yelling. it seems like there's more. It seems like there's more thinking in Pictionary, whereas catchphrase is just constant yelling, where everybody's trying to yell a word. Anyway, so that's with. I also have risk in the red category, but
I feel like
okay, and just
red.
and quick with my favorites: Clue, Deduct2, Phase 10, and Boggle. Which
Okay, let's hone in on
right?
Boggle for just a second. Anybody who hasn't played Boggle, it's a bunch of letter dice that you shake up. And it's brand new word search game.
It should in no way be in my blue category. It should be in my red category, but it's in my blue category.
Why, oh why, is it in your blue category?
because I've turned it in with, like, when I play with you and how many of your other siblings, like, you guys are getting 5, 6, 7 letter words. I'm like, how is this even possible? But I will write down every single thing that I think is even possibly remotely maybe a word to try to wipe out all your little words, like hat and cat and mat and all those all those words. And I think it's hilarious when we do look up a word because everybody's like, that's not a word. And it ends up being a word. And then we get to learn something new. And I don't know. I think it's fun or funny. But I can definitely start to tell when everybody's like, oh, we're done with this. We're not playing this. It's not fun for everyone else.
Played it. I can tell you
play
a lot
Boggle
of
with
time
me.
is spent in the dictionary. So yes, I can see how a lot of people are like, I really don't want to read the dictionary today. I don't mind it, but yes, that one is kind of a funny one for a dyslexic person to like.
But it's the laughing and the joking around that's what I like, because it's a timed, we're not sitting there trying to get words for 20 minutes.
Oh yeah. It's, like
it's just a short amount of time.
I think we raise it to 3 because that's how we like to play it.
House rules.
And we'll sit there and be like, no, we don't want a Q or an X, and we'll flip it. Okay, what else you got? Green category. What makes the difference? We have 10-ish minutes. What's...
Oh.
Who makes the difference?
It's... Well, I was going to say how competitive somebody is, but you're very high in competitive competition, and I'm fine playing with you, and it's... I guess the line is between the difference when you're feeling laughed at versus laughed with. That if everyone's laughing together, whether we're all laughing about me or we're all laughing about somebody else, like it's a group connecting thing, and it's not vicious or malicious and those are extreme words, and it's just what popped into my head. Not necessarily every time it's that extreme, but there is a line.
It's like, sorry.
Yeah.
It's like going like, ha ha, I knocked you back.
The energy, the attitude, yes. And it's not just in what people say either, because now I forget what it's called, but the banter, the jabs, I can't think of the word.
That sounds good.
Down talk? That's not the right thing either.
Smack talk?
Sorta, but different. But that's not the exact word, but yes, that's probably closer. And it came to me and it just went again. Anyway, but that in and of itself isn't bad or wrong. Again, it's the intention, the energy, the intention, the vibe,
Oh, yes. Like, I will warn people before playing Wacky Six. I'll be like, I will yell at you, but I don't mean it personally. I just need you to get out of my way.
So yeah, if people are wanting to play the game to have an enjoyable time, to have an interaction, great, fine. When I've played games with people, and whether it's one move or they win, and it's like this jab of, it's like, that's not fun for me anyway. I don't. So then that brings me around to apples to apples, and also relative insanity, which I have in my blue category because it's funny. It's apples to apples, but it's with jokes. Who's the comedian who did it? Jeff Foxworthy. And so just like with apples to apples, there's red cards. You get 5 or 7 red cards in your hand, and then there's the green card in the middle that everybody's trying to put in to vote, whoever the judge is to vote. That's the same thing with relative insanity. It's the red card is in the middle, and that's the first part of the joke, and then everybody else has 7 yellow cards, and then you choose which punchline you want to put in. And I've edited it. I've thrown some cards out because it's like, this is a family game. We're not going there. So, so reading through them, laughing, and then throwing it away because we're not. Anyway. Okay, but I almost never win. Like, there's been so many times where I don't even get one card. I don't even get one, and we go around and around and around, and there's how many people playing, and I don't even get one card that I win.
For relative insanity?
Or apples to apples. Oh. I mean, there's been times where, yes, I've gotten some, but more times than not, I don't get any, or I'm definitely not the winner. But I still like the games because, again, it's connecting, we're all playing. Pandemic, I like that one, that it's you against the game. It's not each player against each other. And so I like the connection of that. But this one is in the green category and not the blue because it can get overwhelming. I get stressed when I play this because it could wipe out the whole world. And so, and each time you go around and somebody has to flip over a card, and it just makes it so much worse, and you're like, ah! And so even though you can work together, which I like, it can be stressful. Okay, hugger mugger. You're trying to find clues to find and I just like the setup, and it's a detective scavenger hunt thing. Anyway, Scrabble used to be in my red category. It's in my green category now. Again, same thing with the Boggle, is that it depends who I'm playing with. And again, now that I don't remember what age I was, married with kids, that I finally sat down and said, okay, what is it about games? And anyway, I'm fine with not winning. And once I fully realized that, I'm like, oh, okay, I like all kinds of games. Connect 4, it depends who I'm playing with. Monopoly, that is definitely an energy intention. I've played before where everybody's teamed up to, knock me out, and that's, stressful and not fun. Chameleon, I'm okay playing it if somebody else is the chameleon. Mm-hmm. If I'm the chameleon, that's extremely stressful. But again, depending who I'm playing with, it's okay because we're there to have fun. And memory, again, depending on which kind and who I'm playing with.
It's fun with a 3-year-old because then you can let them win. And they get so excited. I have a 4-year-old and we play memory, and I give myself my own rules to play by so that he ends up winning a lot. He feels very proud of himself. He thinks he's really great.
Here to Slay and Skulking. Those, it really depends who I'm playing with because those can be too overwhelming.
I feel like
Go Fish, we've played with forever.
Rules.
Yeah, and I can't remember who is over with what, and I need to have the cheat sheet with me. Phase 10, that I have to keep the list because I can't remember what phase I'm on. The Deduct 2, it's a clue. It's kind of like in between Clue and Guess Who. It's a quicker game, and I love Clue, but I have to have a sheet for marking, other because I can't keep it in my head. Boggle, you have a piece of paper in front of you.
Is that why you liked Clue as well? Because Clue, for a long, long time of my childhood, was my favorite game. But you'd usually beat me until you showed me how you marked your thing, the paper that you have
right.
in Clue.
The strategy. Because I have a column for each person who's playing, and then, so if there was a third person playing and they said, hey, Natalie, peacock in the study with the wrench, and you didn't show, you're like, no, then I know you don't have those. And so I mark it that you don't have those. And then the next time around when they're say, okay, peacock in the study with the rope, and then you show a card, boom, I know the rope was the card that was shown. But I can't keep all that in my head, and so I mark it down. And so, yeah, I really like, because that's another thing with the games is if it's just each person takes a turn, and they can take as long as they need or want. And there's how many people playing. And so it's going to be how long before it gets back to my turn. I feel like that's where the ADHD kicks in to be like, oh my goodness, this is so yeah, it stresses me out if there's a time and it's too hurried, but then also the other, if we're sitting around too long. And so with those games like Clue or Deduct 2, or Wacky 6, you can still there's still enough things for you to do when it's not your turn, or like with Wacky 6, it's always everybody's turn. Right. And so, and like with Wacky 6, I don't have to go fast. There's somebody that we play, there's a extended family member that plays that almost doesn't put down any cards and deliberately waits for specific certain ones. So basically they put down the minimum amount of cards, but they get out first. But then, so you get 10 points when you get out first, but then somebody else could put down so many cards that they actually win because they've put down so many cards, because each card counts for how many points. And so it's interesting to see the different strategies and ways of playing and how each person has fun and enjoys themselves in the way that they play. Uno.
Oh.
No, what were you going to say?
No, because it's all just one big way to connect.
For me. But I also and I'm not trying to dismiss other people's enjoyment of how they like to play games. So my biggest aversion to certain games, maybe that's other people's purpose and reason of why they like to play games. Okay.
Relating it to like video games, there's a new video game out called Arc Raiders. Well, sorry, I think it's been out for 5 months.
Using the word new is relative.
Using the word new is relative. but so in Arc Raiders, that it's a first person shooter, so you're launched into a game map with other online players, but there's friendly fire on, whereas in a lot of games there's not. You're not allowed to, the game won't let you shoot other players, but that's the whole purpose of this game, is that like it's kind of like a social thought experiment, is like, when given the opportunity, will you go like take down another player? And that is specifically why some people get on and play this game, is because they're just in there to like hunt down other players.
Oh. Yeah.
Whereas other people just go in and they're just like, you need to gather things so that you make your weapons and stuff, and then there's also robots that are also trying to attack you, and so other people just like go take down the robots, and then you get more loot and stuff from that. But or a little bit of both. But any last like lessons that you've learned in our last few minutes? Or it's just, you just love to connect? And
I think, and not to overanalyze it to every time you go into playing a game, for everybody to sit down and say, okay, what's your purpose and what's your intention and what do you hope to gain from the, okay, that's probably overkill and, isn't necessarily to assessing the situation during and or after, especially if you're trying to help somebody and or if it's yourself, that's helpful to. I didn't know checkers used to be one of my absolute favorite games, and now it's in the green category, and I can't remember the last time I played it. And yeah, because again, what's the intention? What's the purpose? What's the reason to play the game? With our past podcasts that we've done, I've really looked at it from the perspective of, okay, I'm talking about this and I'm sharing this and hashing this out and going over this for the purpose of picturing my 6th grade younger self and what do I wish I would have known or somebody shared with me. And this one more so is for other people more, that if you have somebody that you care about, especially if you have a child, that to look more into how are they experiencing it, because there's so many of these games that can be learning for different purposes and reasons, and 2 games can look the same and yet they don't feel the same to somebody who's struggling or having harder issues. The other thing is, it's a lot easier to go through a struggle when it's fun. And so making a game of it then can, no pressure. We're just playing a game. This is fun. And so making like Boggle, I would have hated that game when I was a kid, but with the people who I played it with and made it fun enough so that now it's one of my favorite games. If you were here right now and somebody said, let's play Boggle, I'd be like, yes, let's play it. So
I love it. I love it. It's been fun talking about the games that we played, and some of these you've gotten since I've moved out. So like Deduct 2, haven't played that one.
That's really, really new. Like just a couple months, I think.
Oh, cool. Well, maybe next time we come up. Thank you so much for joining us today, everyone. We just wanted to say, if you'd like to connect with us more, we have a snail mail club called Letters from Gwen that we send out every month. Each month is a interactive journal experience from us to you. It has like an art print, stickers, scent card, just an immersive experience for you, music suggestions, that we can really just connect with you more. And that even if you're like, well, I wouldn't really want to receive one of those, that's okay too. If you'd still like to support us, you can sponsor one of our mailbox grandparents, elderly people in retirement homes who might not have family or connections of their own, that you can sponsor them and that they can receive a letter to brighten their day. So thank you so much for joining us for My Mom's Brain and Me. Bye. We'll see you next time. Love you.
Love you.
Bye.